Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Today is July 16th. It is Wednesday. Hopefully, all you guys are having a wonderful day. We've made it halfway through the week, guys. The weekend will be here soon. So hopefully all you guys, have a nice rest of your week. It's been an interesting day in the news world, to say the least. So let's get right into it. Moving on into the Trump administration segment today, as we do, the first topic we have is Trump wants voter data and he wants to inspect voting machines. The Trump administration and its allies are pushing an effort to gather data on voters and inspecting the voter equipment, sparking concern ahead of the 2026 midterms. The most interesting happening in Colorado, a state where Trump lost by 11 points. The White House is reportedly asking county clerks if they will allow the federal government or at least a third party service to inspect the machines. Separately, the Justice Department has asked at least 9 states for copies of their voter rolls, and at least 2 have turned them over, but it's unknown what states turned them over at this time. Samantha Tarazi, CEO of the nonpartisan Voting Rights Lab, believes that President Trump and his allies are trying to lay the groundwork to interfere with a free and fair election in 2026. Some small contacted clerks with ties to Trump have even claimed that Stephen Miller himself has reached out to ask for the information. As much as I would love to sit here and say that I don't think they will attempt to tamper with midterms, honestly, I can't. There's sizable proof already that the presidential election was tampered with itself, which I don't know if I believe or not, honestly, but there is proof there, along with Trump also reinforcing that he still thinks the 2020 election was stolen. I'm a little worried to some degree. These midterms are essential, and Trump knows that. He suffered the same fate in his last presidency when, Democrats won the midterms. But we need a win. We really do. It is essential that when it comes to midterms, everyone should vote. Please research a candidate that you believe will not only stick it to the administration, but actually get shit done. This is our chance to say no, and we must not let that be taken away from the American people. Truly. Moving on, Trump says that he's surprised Jerome Powell was appointed, yet Trump appointed him himself. Trump said that he was surprised that Jerome Powell was appointed to federal chair during an Oval Office press meeting, calling him a terrible appointee. He said, "He's a terrible Fed chair. I was surprised he was appointed. I was surprised, frankly, that Biden put him in and extended him, but they did." But that's not the case, as Trump appointed Powell himself, not Biden. In November of 2017, he selected Powell to succeed Janet Yellen. At the time, Trump called Powell a strong, steady, and wise candidate, and Powell has even said on multiple times that he will serve out his full term, even if Trump tries to remove him. I mean, Trump worked with the man for 2 years and even beefed with him on multiple occasions before Biden was president. There is no way that he can go out there and say that. That is actually crazy. He is factually lying to the entire world like he does consistently. We genuinely should be questioning if Trump is there in the head. Because if he can't remember something he did as president only 7 years ago, we have a massive problem. There is a reason why his medical records are clearly fake, and there should be an investigation into why. Um, okay, we're good. I was getting like a bunch of news notifications, but it's nothing like too serious. I was worried for a second. Anyways, moving on, the Department of Homeland Security is collecting DNA from 133,000 children for a criminal database. U.S. Senator Ron Wyden is pressing the Department of Homeland Security and Justice to explain how and why they are collecting the DNA of immigrants, including children, on a massive scale. Wyden confronted the agencies and demands and questions the legality and oversight of the collection. The Oregon senator has also criticized what he calls a chilling expansion of a sprawling and opaque system. Recent data shows that DHS recently took samples of around 1,000 or 133,000 migrant children, my apologies, and teenagers. And Wyden says that the government has provided no justification for the permanent collection of the children's data samples. Because of this, these children, and not just these children, but their children and grandchildren, and so on, will be viewed as criminals no matter what. When it comes to any investigation or any confrontation with the law, they will be viewed as criminals because they are already in the system, which is absolutely disgusting. I don't see any reason why the Department of Homeland Security would need a child's DNA. There's really no reason for it at all. They just want to promote racism and prejudice for years to come. I mean, we could very easily just abolish racism, not really very easily, but we could abolish it within the federal government and within law enforcement if we, changed our standards for the federal workforce. Yet instead, we're continuing it by, collecting people's DNA. That is absolutely disgusting. It truly is. Moving on, Trump says Coca Cola will only use cane sugar from now on. In a new post on True Social, Trump has announced Coca Cola will only use cane sugar in their products. In his post, he said, "I've been speaking to Coca Cola about using real cane sugar and Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so. I'd like to thank all of those in authority at Coca Cola. This will be a very good move by them. You'll see, it's just better." Guys, I hate to say it, but if this is true, oh boy, oh boy, this might be the biggest win in a long time. I will shamefully admit I love Coca-Cola. It is bad. It it is bad. There is just something about that drink that hits the spot for me, truly. Especially cane sugar Coca-Cola in that glass bottle. There is nothing that hits the spot more for me. Oh boy. Oh boy. If this is real, I might not drink another soda again. I will be completely honest. Like, this is my Roman Empire. This is the kind of thing that I need to get me going throughout the day. Like, this is, if this is real, man, that's big. I really do hope that's real. I hope Coca-Cola knows about this. In other news, moving on to our final Trump segment for today, Trump has fired the former lead prosecutor in Epstein-related cases. Longtime Justice Department lawyer Maureen Comey was terminated as an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, a role which she served in for over a decade. According to sources familiar with the firing, she was fired pursuant of Article 2, which allows the president to appoint federal officials. Comey has been involved with high-profile prosecutions like the case against Diddy this year, as well as prosecutions for Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Well, 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 Miss Comey. You have a little bit of an opportunity here if you wish to, spill some tea, to say the least. She isn't bound by a attorney-client privilege as a prosecutor. I just hit my entire computer, sorry. And very well could share, what she knows about the Epstein case. So come on, let's see it. You got to know something as a prosecutor. Please, please tell us something. You gotta have some information. Come on. You know you wanna. You know you wanna. Everyone wants to hear it. Even MAGA wants to hear it. So, man, please say something. Please. Please. Anyways, moving on to our ICE segment today, we have one topic for today as the IRS is building a massive tax database for ICE. The IRS is building a computer system that would give ICE officers unprecedented access to tax data, according to reports from ProPublica. The system would create an on-demand process allowing ICE to obtain home addresses of people it seeks to deport. Last month, Andrew DeMello was a part of the acting general counsel at the IRS, was removed from his job after refusing to turn over taxpayer data. But this is no longer the case, as the administration has essentially replaced him with a yes man. Taxpayer data, of course, is the most confidential administration in the federal government and is protected by strict privacy laws. And unauthorized disclosure in the United States or around the world is a felony. But we know that wouldn't stop anyone within the Trump administration. How many databases does ICE need truly? I mean, I've reported on them getting databases on several occasions at this point. It's getting a little out of hand. It really is. Honestly, citizen or not, I would be worried about this. Tax data gives anyone the opportunity to see so much information about an individual that shouldn't be public. This shouldn't be allowed. No one within the Trump administration should be able to, give over tax data, and nobody within anywhere in the federal government should be able to give away tax data to a police force. That is terrifying. I mean, genuinely, it is. So, I mean, it should not be allowed, to say the very least. Moving on to our other news segment tonight, California farm workers are going on strike. Farm workers across California are leading a 3-day strike and immigration raids that have tormented communities across the state. The strike will last from July 16th to July 18th, and according to activist Flor Martinez Zarazoga, she said the movement is led by a union. She said the movement is a union-led and was organized by workers themselves. Zarazoga is calling on consumers to boycott companies relying on undocumented labor while simultaneously supporting anti-immigration policies. This is great and 100% should happen. As we all know, I am a farmer, born and raised. I have talked about it a million times at this point. And I absolutely 100% without a doubt support it. The agricultural industry relies on migrant workers heavily, not only to harvest, but to do so much around the industry. And we as a country take advantage of them when it shouldn't be the case. Not only do these workers deserve more, and not only do they deserve to work without worrying if they'll be picked off the streets, but they deserve so much more. I mean, they should be getting higher wages for one and better conditions. It should be easier for them to become a citizen as well. I mean, people who work to put food on your table should be treated with respect, because without them, you wouldn't be eating. I don't see any American citizen who isn't a farmer going to, pick their own vegetables in the middle of the field for 8 hours in the beaming sun. It's not going to happen. It really isn't. Moving on to our final topic tonight, a massive earthquake hit Alaska. A 7.6 or a 7.3, magnitude earthquake struck near Sand Point in Alaska on Wednesday, prompting a tsunami advisory. Sand Point is located in on the Popuff Islands, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Alaska, which is off of the Alaskan Peninsula and is 600 miles southwest of Anchorage. Cities like Cold Bay and Kodiak are among those included in the advisory, and impacts were expected around 2 p.m., but seemingly nothing has happened. By the looks and sounds of this, everything is fine, which is great news. I know during the summer, earthquakes are somewhat more common in Alaska, but by the looks of everything, it's all okay. So hopefully that doesn't change. Good luck to everyone out there. Hopefully everything will be all right. But with that being said, that is all the news that we have today. Hopefully all of you enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing, dropping a like, dropping a comment down below. Our main goal is to hit 500 subscribers by essentially August, so it would be really cool if we could do so. So if you're new here, be sure to drop a subscribe. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support or subscribing. Tomorrow is the last day you will be able to subscribe for 20% off of subscriptions throughout the entire year. So if you want to support the channel and you want to get a nice little deal, be sure to check that out. Tomorrow is the last day to do so. But that being said, thank you all so much for watching this episode, and I will see you all in tomorrow's episode. Later.